everybody. So we are so excited. We are here to talk about 2018 animation, and my friend Tony from 22TigerDude is here to talk about it with me.
Hey there, you guys. It's fun being back here again to talk about the animated films, the good, the bad, the okay. How will this year look? We'll have to see, but I look forward to discussing it with Rachel. Thank you for bringing me.
Oh, thank you. And it's a really interesting year because the last couple of years, we've had so many animated films.
Oh, yeah.
And like a mainstream release pretty much every month. And sometimes, like last June, we had 3 mainstream animated releases in 1 month. And so it's just been really intense as far as quantity. Last year, the quality wasn't so great, but there's just a lot. And this year, there isn't as much. There's no DreamWorks film. There's only 1 Illumination film at the end of the year. There's no... a lot of projects that were announced were canceled, like Gigantic from Disney. And so, yeah, it's an interesting year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And there's going to be a lot of indies and things like that we don't know about, that haven't been announced, don't have release dates, whatever. And so, we obviously won't talk about those in this preview. There's a couple that I know of that I'll mention, but for the most part, we're talking about mainstream releases here in this preview. So, all right. Well, let's start with the one coming out this weekend, Peter Rabbit. Have you gotten to see it yet?
Nope, I did not have a screening for that. I had a screening for 50 Shades Free last night, so I'm gonna most likely gonna have to pay to see that this weekend.
Yeah. So I hated the trailers for this movie with a passion. I was very upset. And so I was going to it with very low expectations. So there's some of that. And I didn't really like it, but it was strange to me. It was a very strange movie. So it wasn't awful. You can sit through it, and like if you just want like a bland generic kids movie, it's fine. Like it's not awful. It doesn't teach anything bad or whatever. But I just thought it was so all over the place. Like even the music, like one minute there'd be like a rap song, and then next minute they're like opera, and then the next minute, and like the story, I felt like they had put a whole bunch of screenplays into a canon, and then each day they just come and like, well, we're gonna do this one today and this one today, because the story was just all over the place. And like 1 minute, Mr. McGregor, the Domhnall Gleeson character, 1 minute he's the protagonist, you're supposed to feel sorry for it. The next he's like definitely the antagonist, and then he's in like this romance, and then like 1 minute the humans can't understand the bunnies, and then the next minute they can talk to him and they can understand him, and it was just a mess as far as like screenplay and story and whatever. And it does sort of repeat the same jokes over and over and over again. And some of those jokes really landed with the kids, I have to say. There's one joke where there's like an electrocuted door handle. Mm-hmm. Whenever someone touches that door handle, like, woo, fly back. And every time that happened in the theater, the kids just went crazy laughing. Thought that was the funniest thing. And there is something about that kind of slapstick that just really kids love.
Like it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be, but it's still not a very good movie.
Right. And it's just kind of messy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I would recommend taking your kids to see Paddington too if it's still playing around you. Instead, it's a million times better.
Oh yeah, that one I actually did really like. I saw that one like not too long ago.
Yeah, it's so good. I loved it. It's still my favorite movie. Even after going to Sundance, it's still my favorite movie of the year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, there you go. Peter Rabbit. And I still think because there's all these like 2D sections too, where all of a sudden it's like going back to the old school Beatrix Potter animation. It's like, oh, I wish we could have had that. Would you give Peter Rabbit a not excited, excited, or very excited?
Not excited. not even the slightest.
Yeah. Did you grow up reading those books and
Yeah, I did
stories?
actually.
Yeah.
It's a big part of my childhood. So, and it's funny too. Before we continue on, it's funny because when I heard they were doing a Peter Rabbit movie, I'm like, oh, this is so exciting! I can't wait to watch the trailer. And then I watched the trailer and I went, oh, I should have known.
That's what I did too. I was just like, die! I hate you, Sony.
I was like,
So
I haven't
bad.
been so dumbfounded by a trailer in a long time. Like I went to school going, okay, Sony, what do you got? And I watched the trailer, and this was me for like 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Really, Sony? I was so dumbfounded that day. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It's not as bad as the Emoji Movie, but in some ways it's more frustrating because it's got this such potential. It's got this special thing, and they just like turned into a
And the fact
different
that it's
movie.
based off of a beloved like childhood
Yeah.
property.
Right, exactly. So it's very frustrating. So the next movie that we have coming up next week, and I'm actually going to see it on Saturday, is called Early Man. And this is from our friends at Aardman. And this is about a caveman who comes in contact with more civilized humans. And it looks pretty funny, I think. I mean, I trust Aardman because I've liked all of their movies. And I just love stop motion. And I'm sure it'll do terrible at the box office because for some reason, I don't know, Aardman just can't seem to connect with U.S. audiences. They just can't seem to catch a break. I mean, Shaun the Sheep movie was so sweet and so good, and it made like $13 million at the box office, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but they just can't seem to connect. So but I liked it. I mean, I liked Shaun the Sheep movie, and I'm guessing I'll probably like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for this one. I mean, of course, I don't know how Pure Rabbit will be yet, but man, whereas I'm really dreading that one right now, I am actually really looking forward to this one. I just like the fact that Armin is making a claymated movie about cavemen and all that and how they have to blend with society. It's a simple, but it looks like a simple but very funny concept. And knowing Armin, I have a feeling they'll do a very good job with this concept. The only Armin film I probably didn't care for was maybe like Flushed Away, but then it's been like a long time since I've seen that one.
I'm
I have
actually
to.
with you there. And it's weird because like Flushed Away has all these elements that I should like. I mean, I love Hugh
Yeah,
Jackman, love Kate Winslet, love Aardman. It sounds like a cute story, but for some reason it just didn't quite work for me.
yeah,
I think because maybe the characters are kind of selfish.
yeah. Like it's been a long time, but last time I
Yeah.
saw it, I'm all like, this is one of the weaker stop motion
Yeah.
films I've seen.
Yeah, but I love Arthur Christmas so much. Even though it's not stop motion, but I love that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's right. They did do that one.
yeah, I love Chicken Run, and I mean, I guess Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit had a certain degree of success, but they just never been able to equal that again.
Yeah,
But yeah, and this has a great cast: Eddie Redmayne and Tom Hiddleston and Maisie Williams, and so that's encouraging too. And yeah, hopefully it'll be funny. And I also really like the Pirates one, Band of Misfits. I think that was,
oh yeah, yeah. That was a good one.
yeah. And I just love that one's one of my favorites just as far as the world building, like the amount of detail into like every ship and so I'm really excited to see that here. Like it's just so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like the movements never felt out of place. It felt very fluid.
Yeah, it really did. Early Man, would you give it a very excited, or not excited?
I would say very excited.
Yeah. Me too. Very excited. I just hope it'll be funny. Hope it'll be charming. And now we're going to talk about another stop motion movie. Very excited. We're going to talk about The Isle of Dogs.
Nice.
And what are your feelings about Wes Anderson in general?
I think he's a very talented filmmaker. Definitely one of the most unique filmmakers. Like you talk about filmmakers that have a certain specific style, and it's definitely hard to find another filmmaker quite like him. Like there's just something about his vision that's just so unique, and his quirky style and his quirky characters, and even some of the dark turns that he takes with his films. Like it's very interesting. His approach with films is definitely very fascinating. So I definitely consider him one of the best working today.
Yeah, he is so original and so fun. Like he'll always sort of surprise you with his stories,
Oh yeah.
and just even if the story isn't great, it'll look great and it'll be a fun watch. Like I've never seen a Wes Anderson movie that I thought was like terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some are better than others, but particularly, of course, this will be his second animated film, stop motion animated. Where are you at on Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Oh, I really like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's really, really good because Roald Dahl is very difficult to, I think, translate to the big screen because
Yeah.
his images in the books come off as sort of empowering to kids and sort of charming, but like when you see them in real life, it can come off kind of mean-spirited, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so unless you add a lot of whimsy, like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or you know, or I don't know, you just have to kind of get it just right because if you just translate it a straight adaptation of his books, it usually doesn't work all that well for me. And so he added kind of just enough of his brand of whimsy to, I think, make it work. And I think it's one of his less sort of, maybe because it doesn't have humans. I guess it does have humans, but like it's not a human lead character that's being like Matilda. It's so hard to like see her just treated so terribly. Things like that can be tough. And even though I like that film, fine. But it's just a tough balancing act, I think, to do. And I think he does a good job with it in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
With Bill of Dogs, I think it's an original story. I'm not sure if it's based on something, but
I think it's original because he's normally known for doing original work.
yeah, I don't think it's like based on a manga or something like that.
No,
But
I don't think it is.
yeah, and so it's basically about this like dystopian society or whatever, that there's been this canine flu, and so they like banish all of the dogs to this island, the Isle of Dogs, and they have to go on some kind of like journey with this. There's this 12-year-old, there's this boy that comes to the island, and they go on some kind of journey together. And what do you think of this?
Oh, this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Like, this is like one I'm like really excited for. Ever since I heard, ever since he announced he was gonna do like his second like stop motion animated kind of film, I'm all in. Like anything with Wes Anderson in general, I'm always up for it because his vision is just like so impressive. But like the stop motion here, just like with Fantastic Mr. Fox, looks so impressive. Like how he's able to make the characters move without it like feeling, I guess, really awkward. Like just have them move and move, I think is very impressive. Even the facial features, like the way their eyes open, or even when they're talking, the mouths are moving, like all the attention to detail, just like with Fantastic Mr. Fox, just from the trailer, it just looks really impressive. Not to mention that the story definitely looks very fascinating. It looks very weird. It looks very out there. And I'm assuming there's going to be some unexpected turns with the story based on just the premise. But it's like one of those good kind of weird stories. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out, honestly. And of course, not to mention that the voice cast alone is just enough for a reason to go see it. Like you have Bill Murray, you have Jeff Goldblum, you have Scarlett Johansson, you have Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton. Like, oh my God, the cast is so huge. I can't even name every single one of them. But
Tilda Swinton's in it. Like everyone is in it. And it looks like the dogs still look pretty cute, and of course, it's going to be kind of that dry wit that he's known for. But I think it's going to be funny. It's going to be creative, and just I don't know. I just feel like it's been a long time since we had an well, I mean, I still think of this as sort of mainstream animated film that has
Hmm.
been this sort of creative and risky and different, and so I'm really excited about it as well. I think it looks really great. So yeah, that was definitely very excited for me.
And I know it's PG-13 too, actually.
Yeah.
Whereas Fantastic Mr. Fox was PG, this one's gonna be PG-13.
Oh, is that true? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe not as much for kids, little
Yeah.
kids at least. Which is fine. Animation, can be for everybody. I doubt. I wonder if it'll. Do you think it'll do well? What do you think?
Um. Well, it depends. How do most of his movies normally perform at the box office?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Hmm.
Um,
If it's stop motion, I don't imagine it being successful because unfortunately, even look at the Leica films;
yeah.
those don't exactly like they make decent money, but they're not exactly like box office hits. So unfortunately, I don't see this one being that box office hit. If it is, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, it's probably true. I don't know what else. Oh, I know one thing that's opening up that same day, but I don't know what else. So that can also make a difference too,
Yeah.
of what else people are going to go see. So we'll see. We'll definitely be supporting it. It's definitely very excited for me. So it sounds like I'm very excited from you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I didn't get my rating. Yeah, my rating. Very excited. I'm very
Nice.
excited for this.
Okay, so this brings us to the next, the other one opening that same weekend, the animated film. We have Sherlock Gnomes. And where are you at on Romeo and Juliet?
Okay, as far as Romeo and Juliet goes, I think it's okay. Like it's not anything like horrible. Um, I know we're gonna discuss the trailer a little bit, so that's a different story. But wasn't anything that good either. It's just one of those animated films I watch. It's entertaining in the moment, but it's like once you're done watching it, it just leaves your mind afterwards. That's kind of how the first was for me. Like it's fine, like it's in the middle for me. It's all right.
Mm-hmm. I was not a big fan. I guess I wouldn't go so far as like awful. Maybe I'm kind of in the same boat as Peter Rabbit. No,
Where it's just really bland and really generic.
yeah, and I didn't really like that. Like the songs didn't like make sense to me. They felt really wedged in, and I didn't like the way they
Yeah,
changed. Like they changed Romeo and Juliet beyond like recognition, which annoyed me. And obviously, you're not gonna have like the tragic ending in like an animated film about gnomes, but still, it just so bothered me. I didn't like it,
yeah.
and I don't know. It just did nothing for me. Like it's one of those movies where I'm just like, why are we having a sequel? Like, even if people liked it, did anybody really like it that much?
Like when I saw a trailer for this film, and that's how you know the first film is forgettable. I went, "Oh yeah, that's right. There was a first film."
Yeah, 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 exactly. And this trailer, oh my gosh, was really bad. It was really dumb. And I have no enthusiasm for Johnny Depp to play Sherlock Holmes. Like I just feel like, or Sherlock Gnomes. I like,
Oh.
like my poor Sherlock Holmes has just been dragged through the gutter lately. And I don't know, like that just doesn't interest me. If I wasn't, or an animation blogger, there's no way I would go see this movie based on that trailer. I guess we're gonna have random Elton John songs again for some reason. I have no idea. And I don't know. What did you think of this trailer?
Oh God. Where do I even start with this one? If Peter Rabbit was not a thing, this probably be my most, not my most, my least
Yeah.
anticipated animated movie of the year. Yeah, this is up there with Peter Rabbit for me. This looks terrible, and I hope when I do see it, it's kind of like the first film, where it's like it's not in the good level, it's not in the bad level, it's just like in the mediocre,
Yeah.
okay, forgettable level. But right now, oh my God, this looks way worse than the first, which once again I thought was okay. But man, the humor did not do it for me. Of course, the fart jokes. Like, I can laugh at fart jokes if it's done right, but oh god, how it was executed here. Oh,
Well,
and not to mention the dancing gnome at the end. The
yeah.
gnome that shakes his butt at the end. Like, oh yeah, this is what we live for. This is cinema, people. This is what life is made for. To see a freaking gnome dance his butt.
Yeah, in a thong bikini. It's like people watched Minions and were like, ooh, that made a lot of money. Let's copy all the worst parts of that movie and put it into the gnomes. Ooh. Yeah, it looks just terrible. It's definitely not excited for me.
Same here. Not excited.
So the next movie we're going to talk about is kind of an indie. It's called Sergeant Stubby. And this comes out on the 13th. I don't know if this is like a little bit of a faith-based film. It's hard to tell from the trailer. But it actually looked pretty sweet to me. The trailer, it kind of reminded me of... Hold on just a second here. It kind of reminded me a little bit in animation style of The Short Feast. The dog kind of looked like the dog in Feast. Is maybe not that good, but like kind of just reminded me a little bit of that. And it's about this dog who becomes this friend of this soldier, and in World War I, and they become like this team, and they both become these heroes kind of, and it just looked cute, I think. It's got Logan Lerman, Helena Bonham Carter, and Gerard Depardieu in the voice cast. This is a very small budget. This is $25 million. But it does have music by Patrick Doyle, who's like pretty well known. And so I don't know. I feel like it might be okay.
Yeah. I saw the trailer for this one once, and that was when I went to go see Ferdinand, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was when I went to see Ferdinand. I saw his trailer, and there's not too much I have really for this one. It's like what you said. It looks cute. It looks like it could be a good movie. Like, I like the concept of like this dog and the soldier. Like, that's really nice. You could say it's like an animated Megan Levy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it looks cute. If I have to give a rating, I would say it's a soft excited. Soft excited.
I think that's probably fair. It could be. I agree with you. A soft excited. So then, on the 20th, we have Duck Duck Goose, and this looks so terrible. I want to die. Like, there's nothing that looks funny. There's nothing that looks original. There's nothing that excites me at all. It's just looks completely terrible in every way. To me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like it's amazing how you can watch nice, simple anime movies like Ferdinand, great movies like Coco. Like, you would think by now we'd be past these generic animated movies, and for some reason we get some of these. Man, this movie looks awful. Like, God, that's already 3 anime movies this year. I am like dreading very hard. The animation does not look good. It looks very cheap. It has a talented voice cast, but it makes me wonder, why didn't they pick a better animated film to voice in? And the humor, oh Lord Almighty, falls flat big time. This one's a not excited, and it's a hard not excited.
Yeah. This might be my, I don't know, this might be my least anticipated. I don't know. It and Sherlock Gnomes and Peter Rabbit and are like jockeying for like position of anticipated. And then there's one more that I'm like, 2018's Home on the Range to me.
Oh man, and this makes Home on the Range look like a masterpiece.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So I'm going to just mention real quick an anime film. I don't know when that comes out in Japan on the 21st of April. We don't have a trailer. We have just like a little clip that you can find online. But I'm guessing that we'll probably get it towards the end of the year in the United States. It might not be until next year. But anyway, I just wanted to mention it. It's called Liz and the Blue Bird, and this is by Naoka Yamada. And she is the director and animator behind Silent Voice, which was I guess as much as an anime film can be a breakout hit, it was a breakout hit in 2017, Silent Voice. And it was a very good movie and one of my favorites of the year. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for whatever she does. And it's really cool because there's not that many female directors in anime. So it's kind of exciting to see her career. And so anyway, just something to kind of have on your radar called Liz and the Blue Bird. We have nothing in May at all for animation. And in June, we have The Incredibles 2. So this is very exciting. Where does the original Incredibles lie for you in your sort of Pixar rankings?
Oh man, that's a hard one considering how many great Pixar movies there are.
I know it's tough. It really is.
But would it be in the top 10? I'd say maybe somewhere in the top 10. Like I don't know my ranking of Pixar movies exactly, but it would be in the top 10, if not top 15, which I know for some people would be like, what? It should be higher. That's like, it's so hard because that's just how many great movies Pixar has made. But yeah, it's a really well done movie. It's really cool to get a superhero movie by Pixar, and this is a superhero movie that wasn't based on like a comic book or anything. It was just something original, which you don't really get a lot of. So for Pixar to do something like that, it was just such a breath of fresh air for them to do. So yeah, like I'm honestly a really big fan of the first film.
Yeah, it's like with Pixar, I have a solid top 3. Top 3, and then I have like a 10-car pileup for the 4th place. Because my solid top 3 are Up, Inside Out, and Toy Story. Those are my top 3. And a lot of that is because I have like emotional sort of attachments, even beyond just the movie itself.
Oh yeah.
With those 3, so I don't think those will ever be kind of rescinded. And then the rest, I usually end up putting Incredibles at number 4. Because I really do love it so much. And I think that The Incredibles, not only is it a great superhero movie, a great superhero origin story movie, it's a great comedy, it's very funny, but I also think it's actually a really great movie about work and about trying to be something that you're not, and how like toxic that is as a human being. Because you have the whole family pretending to be something that they're not, and hiding the fact their special abilities, their talents, whatever. And the fact you have Bob trying to pretend to be this insurance agent, in this terrible job, and it's just not him. That's not who he is, And when you're in that kind of situation in life and you're not like living authentically to like who you are, it's just so toxic and so terrible. And it's just interesting, like as soon as he starts kind of getting training again and getting back into being super, all his like whole demeanor changes, like he loses weight and he's so happy and he's so, all this stuff because he's being himself, like that's who he is, And so I actually think there's like a layer there of truth, that is really powerful. And that's what is so great about what Pixar always does. They always have that sort of layer. I wouldn't say that I necessarily like needed a sequel like a lot of people did, but I'm definitely really excited, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next. I think it's interesting that they're starting right at the pickoff of the last movie, and they pretty much got the whole team back, directors, writers, everybody. Most of the voice cast is back, and so yeah, I'm really excited. Were you excited about this Incredibles 2?
Oh yeah, this might even be my most anticipated animated film of the year, honestly. Well, it's either that or another animated film that's coming out in November of this year. I won't say it right now, but it's between that animated film. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. Like I said, I am a big fan of the first film, and I probably wouldn't say I was like at first at least. Like I remember like around 2010 where people were just like wondering where it was. But as time went by, and especially when I rewatched the first film, I kind of do wonder how come they haven't made a sequel by now? Because the first film did end off on a cliffhanger, with that villain, the Underminer, believe that's called the Minor Underminer. Like it ended with him.
With Syndrome?
No, it was like he was like the Underminer, and then that's when the Incredibles put on their mask, and the movie just ended from there. It
Oh,
was
I
like,
don't remember that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it was like, yeah. So honestly, after rewatching the film and seeing that ending, I'm all like, yeah, I would think a sequel happened a long time ago because that was pretty much a cliffhanger ending. Like it wasn't an ending; it was like a cliffhanger. So the fact that the sequel, from what I'm hearing at least, is literally going to continue off uh, where it ended with that villain, the Underminer, if that's even the name, has me very excited. And I am honestly looking forward to just seeing the family again. And the fact that they got the voice cast to come back, the fact that Brad Bird is involved in this again is really nice. You know, after seeing him do a couple of live action movies like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol and Tomorrowland, it's going to be cool to see him do an animated film again. So I think this movie is already in good hands, honestly. I don't know too much about the story because we've only gotten a teaser. So, and I like that. I like that. I don't know too much about the story, but whatever they have in plans for us with the story, I'm pretty sure it could be just as interesting, if not maybe be a little bit better than the first. So, yeah, my rating would be very excited. Like this is a very enthusiastic, very excited for me.
It's my most anticipated movie period of the whole year. So you can see my shirt.
Oh, I just noticed that right now.
So, okay, good. All right, so the next movie is another anime I just wanted to mention real quick. Also, this is opening in Japan, so I don't know when it'll open in the United States. But on July 1st is a movie called Mirai no Mirai, and this is by famous anime director Mamoru Hosoda. His last movie was The Boy and the Beast, which was really good. And he's done The Girl Up Through Time and Summer Wars, great movies. Anyway, something to keep on your radar as well is Mirai no Mirai. Okay, then in July, we have, on the 13th, we have Hotel Transylvania 3, The Summer Vacation. And I'm really surprised that they did this because I think they just had such a good thing going in September. They had such a good spot there. I still think you could do a summer vacation movie in September. I think it's okay. Like, they should have Labor Day, like in September. It would work. And they just carved this little like niche where I feel like the summer is so much more crowded. I mean, I guess not as much this year. Maybe they're lucky that way. But I was surprised when I heard that they were moving it to September. I mean, moving it to July from September. And I guess like I don't love these movies, but they're just like, for me. They're fine. I didn't like the second one as much as the first one because I'm a huge Fran Drescher fan. And then in the second one, she's like hardly in it at all. And like a lot of the supporting cast were just like barely in it. They got like one line. And so that was kind of annoying. And I felt like they kind of copped out at the end of the last one with like making him a vampire. Because it's like, that would have been more interesting to see like how they deal and how they adapt. And can they really love this person who's like different? And like it would have had more, the ending would have had more meaning, but they make him a vampire, which is like, I don't know, it's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, this one is actually coming on my birthday, which I think is very cool. So I consider it a nice little birthday gift for me.
Oh, there you go.
And also because I actually am a fan of the first two films, I think they're both solid, like very solid, very fun, very entertaining animated films. You know, they're not trying to break new ground for anime movies. They're just meant to be simply just very entertaining and very funny. And that's how I view both of them. Like, I rewatch both of the movies at least like maybe once every few months, and they both make me laugh like very consistently. Like the humor, there's just something about the humor in both movies that does something for me. And I will say at first I did find a little bit weird that, I would agree with you that it's not a September release like the first two. But then when they revealed what the storyline was, about them going on a summer vacation, I think it kind of makes sense, honestly. Especially since they make it very clear, Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. The first two didn't have a subtitle, but this one does.
That's true.
So yeah, I'm down for a summer Hotel Transylvania movie. And it's then Gennady Tartakovsky, who is a very talented filmmaker, writer, just in general. He's just a very talented person. So I think as long as the third film can be just as funny and just as entertaining as the first two, in my opinion, then it should be good. And I hope it's good, because if it's not, man, will that be a depressing birthday for me.
Yeah, for sure. Like a soft excited.
Oh yeah, my rating excited. There you go.
Excited. There you go. Okay, cool. All right. Then on the 27th, we have Teen Titans Go to the movies. And I have there's a huge amount of animosity towards this movie.
Oh, yeah.
By fans of the show or people who hate the show. I don't know. I don't really understand the dynamic of the show. But I have none of that. I'm just going off of the trailer. It was terrible. I hated the trailer. It was so bad. And so just on that alone, I'm like, lame. I'm not interested. It doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't look good at all. Some of the animation looks kind of fun, but from what I can tell, this show is 10-minute little bits, right? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like with a lot of cartoons where it's to film the 30-minute runtime. It's 2 episodes, but they're 11 minutes long.
Yeah. And where are you at on the show? Do you like it, hate it? No opinion?
I watch the show sometimes. I wouldn't say I hate the show. I know everyone's all oh, this show is awful. Oh, this show is offensive. Why would you ruin Teen Titans? I'm not really like that. Yeah, I love the original Teen Titans show. But when I watch Teen Titans Go, I just see it as okay, it's something I watch when I'm bored. I have nothing to do. I don't hate it, but I don't really think it's good either. I watch it and I move on with my day. That's basically what the show is for me. It's just a disposable show I watch when I'm bored sometimes.
So there was a Teen Titans, and that had fans. And then they made Teen Titans Go, and that made the Teen Titan fans mad? Is that right?
Yeah, because the original Teen Titans show was a more serious show. It had its humor, but it wasn't a full-on comedy show like this one. And Teen Titans Go, this one breaks the fourth wall. And the creators are even aware, because there was an episode where Teen Titans Go actually addresses the original show, because the original show ended on a cliffhanger and it never picked up another season. So to this day, the fans are mad that the creators never picked up another season. So when Teen Titans basically gave that, the middle finger, they pretty much gave the fans the middle finger in that episode. Fans have been holding it against them, especially ever since that episode, which, wow, Cartoon Network, you really.
So this sounds like it's going to be a huge hit for Warner Brothers. You have all the Teen Titans fans that hate Teen Titans Go. And you have all the Teen Titans Go fans that, from everything I can see, absolutely hated this trailer and hate the idea of this movie. And all the other people who don't care either way, who will probably hate it.
Yeah. As for the movie, I'm kind of the same way with the show. I'm it looks whatever. That's the best way to describe it. It looks like a big old whatever. Does it need to exist? No, but I'm not really bothered it exists. I'm just okay, just bring me your best shot, Warner Brothers.
They made the Romeo and Juliet fart jokes look subtle.
Yeah, they did.
The trailer. It's oh my gosh. The beginning of the trailer, I'm oh, this could be kind of like Lego Batman-y, kind of.
I have to ask, what'd you think of the Aquaman jab at the end of the trailer?
That was kind of funny.
Yeah, that
made me laugh. Sort of a Lego Batman kind of vibe to this movie, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that.
Yeah, that fart joke goes on for forever.
So long. Not excited for me.
Yeah, I'll say not excited too, but it's a meh, not excited. So there you go. It's a meh, not excited.
Okay, good. Then we have nothing in August. So that's interesting. And we have nothing again until the end of September when we have the movie Smallfoot.
So there's a 2-month gap there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
2-month gap. And Smallfoot. And I didn't think this trailer was that bad. I don't know if I was expecting like Norm of the North when I heard Smallfoot, but it wasn't that bad. I didn't think it looked like it maybe might be a little bit okay. I mean, it definitely looks like a copy of a lot of stuff we've seen before, but the idea of sort of like, it's very Monsters Inc., but whatever, like the idea that the Bigfoot would be like scared of the humans and think like the humans were the scary ones is kind of fun. I don't know. I didn't hate the trailer.
Yeah, I'm the same way, honestly. Like, obviously, I don't think they've released a full trailer yet, so it's kind of hard for me. So it's kind of hard for me to say what my full-on thoughts are. But if I were to judge it from that teaser that they released, I thought it looked pretty cute. I'm not like head over heels excited, or I'm probably not necessarily like on the full interest level yet. But I'm going, okay, this looks cute. This doesn't look anything horrible. This doesn't look like a Peter Rabbit or freaking Duck Duck Goose or anything. It just looks harmless, fun, and hopefully it could be like good, harmless fun. I mean, the animation looks really nice, and it seems like there's been a trend of having a movie come out on the last week of September. I know last year was Lego Ninjago. The year before that, it was Storks and Hotel Transylvania 2. So yeah, that's pretty interesting.
You bring up Storks because I think it has the same writer.
And it's the same studio too, right? Like Warner's doing this one, right? Yeah.
So, and I like Storks. I think Storks was funny. I enjoyed it. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a pleasant little movie. So I would say I guess I would say excited on that one. I'm like in the middle score.
Yeah, I'll say
mild excited.
There you go. That's best to describe it. I'll say mild excited. That's actually the best way to put it.
Okay, good. So on the 9th of November, we have The Grinch, and this is our lone movie from Illumination. We get a break from the Minions, thank goodness. And I'm not all that excited about this, to be honest. We haven't seen a trailer yet. We've just seen some posters. And I really don't like Baby Grinch, they show. But Benedict Cumberbatch could be fun in the lead. But I have hated most of these adaptations of Dr. Seuss. There's one that's watchable in Horton Hears a Who. I think that one's okay. But the rest are some of my least favorite movies I've ever seen. I hate the Lorax, and I hate Cat in the Hat, and I really don't like Ron Howard's Grinch. It's not for me. Don't like it. And it just doesn't work to me, expanding these short little stories into feature films. So I'm very, very skeptical on it. And I'm not that high in Illumination. They really haven't made... I mean, think of the movie of Illumination that I like. I guess Sing is my favorite Illumination movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like that great, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. I'm just not a fan of. And so, yeah, I would say not excited about this one for me.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually very excited for this one. I'm actually up for the idea of an animated Grinch film. As far as the Ron Howard one goes, that one is just okay. Like, between that one, the live action Cat in the Hat, that movie makes the Grinch look like a masterpiece. I'll take the Ron Howard one any day over the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat.
We'll see how, if a trailer comes out and it's cute, I'm open to it, but right now I would say not excited. But
honestly, as long as they're not doing another Despicable Me movie, that's fine. I know they have Minions too, kind of. I actually don't hate Minions. I'm just like, whatever on that one. But like, As far as Despicable Me movies go, yeah, I'm pretty much done, because Despicable Me 3, that really made my blood boil.
Drew and Gru weren't doing it for you?
Oh no.
The only part of that, because I hated Minions. I thought Minions was just atrocious. And
I don't blame you.
The only reason I would give Despicable Me 3 a higher grade is I did think some of the stuff with the little girl and the unicorn was sort of cute. And
yeah, that was actually my favorite plot in that film.
Yeah. And I thought that the Minions singing the Modern Major General was
I'll admit that actually did make me laugh.
That was funny. There you go. They actually made me laugh twice. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how the Grinch turns out. It could be a holiday classic in the making. We don't know. So there you go. All right. Then the 21st. So we have Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. I think this is just the most terrible name for this movie. Yes. What are they thinking? Like, what could possibly Disney be thinking? Like, it's so clunky. It's so awkward. It's so weird. Like, I don't understand it. And so, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't hate it, the original Wreck-It Ralph fan, but I'm not a hardcore fan like most people are. Because it frustrates me because I feel like it has this great setup of like, he's going to go on this adventure and we love this character and it's so fun. He's going to go experience all these different worlds. Look at this train station. We see all these characters. We see all this stuff. It's going to be so fun. But then he's like in the army game for Hero's Duty, I think it's called, for like 10 minutes. Not very long. He gets his medal, which was the whole purpose of why he was out. Like, I was so surprised because I'm like, that should be the ending of the movie. Like, he gets the medal, right? And then, no, he gets it like very early. And then he goes into Sugar Rush, which to me felt very generic, very like I've seen that kind of land a million times before. I do not like Sarah Silverman. I did not like Vanellope. I thought the story was very played out, very blah to me. I was like, oh, get out of Sugarland. Get out of Sugar Rush, or whatever it's called. And and then finally, you get Sergeant Calhoun and Felix come back and I'm like, yes, yay, now it's getting funny again, and now it's getting good, and now I like it. And, so I find it a frustrating film, and I just don't love it like other people love it. It's very middle to lower end for me for Disney. And so, but I like feel so conflicted because even if I didn't have that experience with the first movie, I think that this movie is just like, I don't know what they're thinking, because I think having him go into the internet is totally the wrong choice. Because the whole appeal of Wreck-It Ralph, even though I don't love it, is that it's vintage and that it's playing on nostalgia for these games and these characters. And we hardly got to see any of that. We hardly got to see any of the arcade, any of the world. Like, the idea of Ralph being online to me is just like not interesting. And it's not something that sounds appealing to me of him. Like, obviously it's gonna be better than the Emoji Movie, but like, just a sense of like the way in the Emoji Movie you had the emoji like coming up against Dance Mix and coming up against like, that's not appealing to me as far as Wreck-It Ralph. Like, all of a sudden he's in Oh My Disney, and all of a sudden he's in, and I did see the little thing with all the princesses at D23, and I didn't love it. I'm one of the rare people. I thought it was it felt kind of Shrekian to me. And I don't want that in Disney. We already have that in DreamWorks and Illumination and Blue Sky. I don't need another parody film, another film where they're making fun of themselves and whatever. I don't need it. And so I'm actually kind of not excited about this movie. There you go. I've said it. I have your personal opinion. So I know you feel the exact opposite. So I'll lend you the floor.
Hey, honestly, after you explain all that, I'm going, okay, I can actually understand why you weren't a fan of the first, honestly. Like,
okay, cool.
You do bring up good points, because even though, like, I'll admit, I do love Wreck-It Ralph, honestly, but, like, I can understand someone being disappointed because he didn't jump to as many, like, games as the marketing for that movie led you to believe.
And the first 15 minutes, I would say, of the actual movie.
Yeah. So I could definitely understand that, but for me, I just thought the world building was just so creative. Even if that movie, Sugar Rush, there you go.
Sugar Rush, yeah.
Even if most of the movie took place in Sugar Rush, I wasn't really bothered by that because I did feel invested with Ralph and Vanellope's like little friendship and Ralph helping Vanellope. Like, yeah, I would say my biggest criticism was that when Vanellope gets introduced, even on rewatches, I have the same problem. She does start off as annoying. Like, luckily the character does get better, but every time she does get introduced in the film, I'm all like, oh god, she's really getting under my gears. But that's really like maybe the only criticism I have with the film. But yeah, I honestly did love pretty much everything about it. I even thought there were some very emotional moments, especially towards the end, that almost got me like teary-eyed. So I thought the first was very well done. And as for the sequel, well, first of all, with the title, yeah, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, like I can't stand it when movies put like Wreck-It Ralph 2 or whatever at the end. That's like with Blair Witch. Like Blair Witch Project, the sequel is called Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Like, why not just reverse it? Just reverse it.
So weird.
So yeah,
weird.
But the concept of him going to the internet, yeah, it's kind of weird. It could go either way. I will still say I'm excited for the film, but I am a little bit bummed that maybe the sequel was going to be about him maybe jump into more games, exploring to more of that. So I will say I'm kind of a little bummed they're not going in that direction. But as far as the internet goes, I am very curious. And after them announcing that they're pretty much bringing back all of these Disney princesses back, I'm not gonna lie, it had me excited.
Well, they're gonna have Star Wars, they're gonna have Marvel, they're gonna have, so yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm curious to see how that'll work in a Wreck-It Ralph movie. Hopefully it does. I will say, hopefully, my little worry is it doesn't feel like Disney is promoting themselves. Basically, I hope whatever they're doing with these princesses, I cannot talk, and all these other stuff, I hope it makes it work within the story itself. So yeah, I have my little hesitations, but I will say overall, I am very excited. Like this and Incredibles 2 are like up there as like my most anticipated animated movie.
Yeah.
And
I can understand why, and I know that I'm in the minority when it comes to Wreck-It Ralph, but for me, it's definitely one of the most overrated Disney films, just because I don't think it's terrible. There's certainly way worse animated films, but it's the one that I feel like a lot of people have very high up on their list. And like the top 10 Disney films of all time, they're putting it up there with like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and, you know, like Pinocchio and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? Yeah, so that's my struggle.
Oh, hey, that's okay too. Like, you know me too. I'm someone that can have my own unpopular opinions.
Yeah. The last one we have an actual release date is December 14th. We have Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse. And first when I heard this announced, I was like, I don't know. We've got a lot of Spider-Man going on here, you know, in the world, and I don't really trust Sony that much. And what are we gonna do? But the trailer was pretty darn awesome. It was pretty amazing, that the trailer, I think, for this movie. It looked cool and graphic and stylish, and I thought it was better than the Infinity War trailer. I'm just going to put it out there. I did. I thought it was really cool, and it's just as far as the teaser, we'll see once a full trailer comes out, but it made me excited. It was one of the most effective trailers as far as like moving me up from like zero to hero, like very effectively. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty interested in this film. I'm not exactly like high on it, like at least not yet. I probably need to see more. But yeah, the teaser trailer, I will admit it didn't necessarily grab me, but I did watch that teaser going, okay, I could see potential in it. The animation I did think was very nice, even though I did feel like some of it was very choppy, like some of the movements I noticed, especially with like Miles Morales like falling. I was all like, ooh, that doesn't look too good. But then again, the movie doesn't come out until December, and the teaser dropped like literally a year before its release. So I can understand the animation not being finished, and I'm pretty sure it will be finished by the time the movie comes out. But yeah, in the teaser, I noticed some weird like little animated errors.
I
But
just liked it. It had kind of a comic book 2D almost style to
oh,
it a little bit. I liked
that was the
the
cool
light.
thing about the teaser. I'll say that I
Yeah,
did
the
like
light and the colors and the it looked really
it.
cool.
It was a very colorful, like as far as the animation goes, it was very colorful
Hmm.
and it's very unique. Like we've seen a lot of 3D animated films. I definitely haven't seen 3D animation quite like.
Yeah, yeah. Sure that it will have some of the typical cringy Sony elements, the product placement and the terrible humor and the things like that. But but oh well, what are you gonna do? Um, so the only other ones I wanted to quickly mention is I did see two animated films at Sundance. I saw one called Lou Over the Wall. This is an anime film, and it was the first anime film to ever be accepted at Sundance. Unfortunately, I hated it. I really didn't like it. It was very like I felt kind of assaulted by it. Like the images were very, 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 and like the story was all over the place. I had no idea what was going on half the time, and the parts that I did understand felt very much like a copy of Ponyo. I don't know if you've ever seen Ponyo.
Oh yeah, I did. I like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, it felt very like Ponyo. There's like this mermaid who's like becomes friends with this little boy, and just felt a lot like Ponyo to me. But it was just like I don't know. I just didn't care for it really at all. I didn't like it.
Was it more all over the place for you than Peter Rabbit?
Yeah, in a more like I felt nauseous. Like it was just visually
Oh
all
wow.
over the place. Like I didn't even know where to sometimes look because there was just like stuff happening
Oh
everywhere.
man.
I really didn't like it. And then unfortunately, it was just like a bad Sundance for animation, unfortunately, because there was another film called White Fang that is also going to get a release sometime. And I was really excited for it because it had some really nice moments of animation. And it's based on the story, the novel, but there's a long sequence where these dogs are being kind of trained to be dog fighters, and then they're actually in dog fights, and it's so brutal. Like it was hard. I mean, I'm not like the biggest dog person in the world, so the fact that I found it like super upsetting says something. Because I mean, my friends that are like super dog people, oh my gosh, they would die. And it was just it was like brutal in the sense of like you could hear like bones cracking. There was blood. It was like, and it was long, and mean, and I just there's no way that I could recommend it to anybody, despite having some good animation and some good vocal performances. I would never take a child to it because it's just too disturbing. So that's my little warning. White Fang.
What rating do you think it would get once it comes out like theatrically?
I think it'll get PG-13.
PG-13.
Yeah. Because of that sequence with the dog fighting. I would be shocked if it got a PG. But the MPA is stupid. So
Yeah. Me and my friends talk about the MPAA so many times. It's not even funny.
you can have like tons of violence, but you say two naughty words, and it's like, oh. That's why I tell people, I'm like, you have to make your own informed. Do not rely on some corporate body that makes
No.
of insiders to make your like moral decisions for you. Like you should find out what's in it and decide for yourself.
Yeah. Like I
That's what I
used to be
think.
like that, but these past few years, I've been questioning the MPA so much. I'm all like, I'm not gonna even bother trusting the MPA anymore.
Even that's this year. It really does seem like a pretty lean year, but I would say for me, most excited is for Incredibles 2, definitely out of all of these. And then probably Isle of Dogs is my second.
Yeah, I'd probably say that's kind of hard. I'd say probably my most anticipated is Incredibles 2, just because I have my little worries with Wreck-It Ralph 2, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm still very excited overall that one.
Yeah.
So I'd say that, then followed by Wreck-It Ralph 2, then followed by Isle of Dogs.
Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be fun to check out our reviews, and I should have my review of Early Man up on Saturday. So look for that. And so, where can people find you?
Oh man, there's so much social media, so we could be here all day. But you could find me on my YouTube channel, 22TigerDude. You can follow me at Snapchat at TigerDude222. You can follow me on Twitter at TigerDude22, Instagram 22TigerDude, Facebook 22TigerDude. Oh yeah, and Letterboxd at TigerDude22. And I literally just started a Stardust account, so if you want to follow me like literally just 2 days ago, I started this account. So if you want to follow me on Stardust, TigerDude22.
Awesome. Great. I'll have to follow you on there because I've been on there for a couple weeks, so I'm pretty new too. But yeah, you can find me, Rachel's Reviews, on iTunes and YouTube. And you can follow me on social media at Smiling LDS Girl all over the place. So yeah, that will be really fun. And thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for bringing me on here. Like, obviously, I love animated films in general, so the fact that I got to do this again honestly made me happy.
Oh, well, good. Great. Anytime. So maybe we'll have to do like a mid-year update or something like that and let you know how things are going. So
That'd be very cool.
okay. We'll talk to you later then.